Hi guys, hope you're having a good afternoon on a Sunday. It was beautiful here just a moment and then it got overcast and rainy. We've had a lot of rain. I should probably be resting my voice, but I preached this morning at church and about 45 minutes, I'm guessing. Anyway, I tend to project and I'm out of practice doing public speaking. Partly because all my courses got canceled due to COVID lockdowns. But anyway, I want to just take a moment to talk about kind of a heartbreaking email from one of the viewers who was going to submit for her religious exemption. And this relates to the title I gave this. She said, I was denied for, and then she gives the quote from her place of employment, that your request for religious exemption from taking the COVID vaccination is denied, as the 3 vaccines used in the United States do not, and that's highlighted, do not contain human ingredients. It is true that many other vaccines currently being used may contain these products. However, the COVID-19 vaccines do not. So, first of all, this is not what this young lady argued. She did not argue that at all. Her argument was based on the fact that during the testing phase and for the Pfizer, during the production, that fetal stem cell lines were used. And this is confirmed fact. Now, are they in the vaccines? No, but that wasn't the argument. One of the things that I've seen is a lot of people getting off the actual argument. What's being argued here? It's your sincerely held religious belief in the case of a religious exemption. That's what you're focusing on. And as I outlined in my argumentation, that's what you should stay with. You're not there to argue with them the science. Case in point, one of my viewers took the negative against my position side and brought up some points that are worth discussing. And I'm actually going to do a video MC if you're watching, my anonymous troll. I'm going to address your concerns, which are definitely valid questions to discuss. But that's not what's at stake here in a religious exemption. Sincerely held religious belief. So I would urge you to make sure you're staying focused on what the argument is. Only focus on your particular religious belief. Now, with that said, and this is why I wanted to cover this, there is a growing, because everything spreads through the internet so fast. This first came out a little while ago, is this article that I found kind of a few months ago on how no religious denominations exempt from vaccines, or they say that there's no religious mandate against vaccines in their denomination. And then this kind of spread like wildfire. Now you can find every major news source basically has this article of some permutation of it, that there's no denomination except for a couple, like Jehovah's Witnesses, and I think it was one of the Orthodox churches. Dutch Reformed Church has a very specific statement against taking vaccinations. And so I touched base on this before. And it's an important principle. And it's one, ill-informed to say no denominations have something against vaccinations, in this case, the COVID. And 2, it's lazy. It's a lazy argument. And so what I would say is this. Most denominations, in their statements of faith, which is their official statement in their denomination, most of them never had to deal with vaccinations. In fact, they don't generally take a faith stance on that. They address things like who is God? What is man's relationship to God? What is Scripture? What is not? How should we interpret Scripture? These are the common themes that are addressed in a statement of faith in a given religion, whatever it might be. And so they are historically silent on the issue of vaccination. So it's disingenuous to say that denominations have no stance against vaccination because, frankly, they leave it up in the air because they haven't addressed it. That's one thing. Now, secondly, her statement, this is my belief, and I'm an individual who has this belief and it's sincerely held, that's the only litmus test that legally can be applied in religious exemption. Not whether so-and-so from your denomination said anything about it, or that your church holds this official position. That's not what's at stake here. That's not part of the definition. And it goes back to even non-theists who are just humanist in their perspective can have a legal grounds for being religiously exempted according to the law. There's a really good. I wish I'd pulled up the video, but it's about an hour long, I think. But it's a discussion between a lawyer, a HR guru, and somebody who's like a senior pastoral care person for a hospital organization. And they're having this discussion about religious exemption. And the lawyer actually, I think, is the best of that group because keeps pulling them back to the fact that legally, it doesn't matter if a denomination says anything. It just has to do with the person stating their faith, that they can't take it ethically. And she does a good job roping them back towards that because they forget that. It's the law. It's the law. So anyway, with that said, what do you do in a situation where your denomination is silent on taking vaccines or on medical mandates? Well, I'd like to introduce you to something I've mentioned before, and that's called the Warrenton Declaration on Medical Mandates, Biblical Ethics, and Authority. So Warrenton, WARRENTON, and their website is literally warrentondeclaration.com. And you can actually download it as a PDF file. And it is a statement coming from an interdenominational perspective against medical mandates. It's a creedal statement. It's kind of funny. It's related. I preached on creeds and confessions this morning at my church. And so it's important that we have if they ask for, what is your denominational perspective on this? What authority do you have behind what you're saying? Well, first and foremost, I say, well, my conscience is my authority. That should be sufficient. But if you want another authority, the Bible is my authority. Well, where is this codified in like some statement? Well, the Warrenton Declaration provides you some of that. And so anyway, there's a lot to this. And frankly, I've read through not all of it yet, but a good portion of it. And I can tell you it's well thought out. It's well thought out. And so I'd encourage you to check that out. It might be helpful in your case. Anyway, that's all I wanted to say for today. I got to rest the voice. So hope you're having a great day. Take care and God bless.